listening to BottleCAST, the official podcast of BottleCaps.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of BottleCAST. I have here with me Preet Dillon, our business partner and chief marketing officer. And I also have here on the right side, Curtis Patton, our director of sales. And of course, myself, Lupe Lopez, the multimedia director. But yeah, we wanted to have this episode here to talk about our venture into the Canadian market. It's a very exciting time. It's something that we've had in our sites for quite some time, and now we're getting boots on the ground. So I wanted to get our sales team and our marketing team here to discuss more and really just kind of dissect what is the Canadian market and you know why we're there. So with that said, I'll go ahead and kick it off to Preet here. Preet, can you go ahead and give us an idea of how this venture started? What were some of the conversations? And what were some of the beginning steps of getting into the Canadian market?
Sure, absolutely. Thanks, Lupe. So first of all, my hometown is actually Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. So the Canadian market is something that's very personal to me. My family has actually been in British Columbia and Alberta since the early 1900s. So I have a lot of family and friends in British Columbia, Alberta, and across Canada. I have a very strong connection there and absolute desire for BottleCaps to help in this marketplace. So we place our stores and our customers at the center of everything that we do. And that's really led to our success in the US. And it's with this mindset that we decided to move into the Canadian market. I really drove a lot of the conversations and the desire to move into that marketplace. We've done very, very well in the US and very much dominated the space. And I've always had my eye on Canada, looking, when can we move in there? So we finally got the green light to move in there this year, and I'm very, very excited. There's a lot of differences as far as Canadian laws go. They've got different currency up there and different taxes and different bottle deposits that need to be collected. So, moving into that marketplace was a little bit of adaptation, but it's something that we were looking forward to, this challenge.
Awesome, and I appreciate you sharing that. And I just wanted to kind of ask a question there. So you mentioned, that there are different laws. How do we plan on maybe navigating through some of those? Is it something that would be, a quick turnaround, or is it something that's going to take a long time? How would you answer that?
We've solved most of those issues. We were lucky enough to find a really good partner in the Canadian market named Rising Tide Consultants. And I've actually known the owner for just over 30 years. And he is actually a full service liquor and cannabis consulting and licensing firm that's based out of Vancouver. So they've really been instrumental in helping us understand and navigate which laws are applicable to us and our business. We're a SaaS model, so it's usually an easy transition. We're not going to have a lot of challenges, but they were instrumental, really helping us and connecting us with the correct people and the liquor stores to give us the feedback that we would need in that marketplace to make sure we're doing everything legally correct.
No, absolutely. I think that's probably the best approach, just because, as you've mentioned, they're well versed in there. So awesome. I appreciate you sharing that. And with that, I'll go ahead and just kick it off to Curtis. Curtis, can you talk to us a little bit about Canada and from a sales approach? We've kind of had, back end talks of how it's potentially an untapped market. Can you kind of explain further on that?
Yeah, very much so. So, thanks for having me on here, Lupe. But when I first started here with Preet back in 2017, it has a similar feel to the market where e-commerce, it sounds like a really good idea, but there's just not a whole lot of people doing it so far. Even back then, there were a lot of folks that were using some of the third parties, like Drizzly or Minibar or even a DoorDash. Up north in Canada, you have the Uber Eats, the Skip the Dishes, and those other ones. Drizzly delivering alcohol up there, or facilitating online alcohol orders. You don't really have a whole lot of groups like us. When I first started here in the States, stateside, we had some of our competitors that were out there. Drink, what would be some other ones? So there's Drink, Wine Fetch, Bottlenose, and some other people that actually make app's website specific for liquor stores, and they don't run into the third party thing where they charge an exponential amount of fees for every order, which really cut into the store's margins. So as of right now in Canada, there's just not a whole lot of stores that have their own app or have their own website where they can make their own orders, facilitate their own orders without having to use a third party. So that's where we're at. Like I said, it's probably about 2017, 2018, a few years behind of what it was here in the States. So definitely about it. Go ahead. Sorry.
But you mentioned that there's not a lot of folks like us. Can you expand on that a bit? What are some differences there that maybe the existing folks don't have that we do?
Yeah, so what really BottleCAST does is, we make a full 360-degree solution, right? So let's say, Lupe, you owned a liquor store out in Vancouver, British Columbia, called Lupe's Liquor. Instead of somebody finding you on a third-party app, let's just say Drizzly or Uber Eats or Skip the Dishes, they could actually go to the App Store, go to the Play Store, download Lupe's Liquors, or go to the Lupe's Liquors website and order directly from you with your pricing, with your delivery zones, your delivery fees, and you won't be charged a percentage like you are on some of these other third-party platforms. Now, as good as some of these third-party platforms are at getting folks' orders, so different liquor stores' orders, kind of the bad part about it, I don't want to say the bad part about it, but kind of is it's it really gets in there and they start charging percentages, right? And these percentages, the liquor store margins are already very tiny. So you're talking on average about 20%. So if I'm an Uber Eats or if I'm a Skip the Dishes or whoever the case, whatever I am, and I'm charging these extra fees, if they're above 20%, the liquor store really isn't making any money off of that. And even if I'm only 15%, I charge you 50%, I'm still, as a liquor store owner, not really making a whole lot of profit off these orders. So kind of the way it works where we just charge a flat monthly fee. And what this will do is this will actually allow the liquor store to keep their profits and also keep their customers too. So, because they're going to be ordering directly from a platform that would be branded to your liquor store as opposed to ordering it from somebody else. And then essentially just being a fulfillment center for that third-party platform. So.
Awesome. I appreciate that breakdown. And that reminds me of a previous episode, actually, that we had with Scott. He was discussing about kind of the price war that it places you in when you're working with these third parties, because as you mentioned, you are already giving away some of those margins to the service fees. But even so, if your pricing is not to a certain degree, you'll get the users will get funneled to the lowest price. Yep. So you have to go into some sort of price war, and that's just not good for the liquor stores. So. Thank you so much for explaining that. Yeah. So Preet, with that said, can you tell us a little bit on how you view the Canadian market in general, and how us as BottleCAST plan on helping the Canadian market in this approach?
Absolutely. Thanks, Lupe. The Canadian market is a little bit behind where the U.S. market was. And what I mean by that is we've kind of already gone through this growth curve and this big push for this digital revolution here in the U.S. And so we're a little bit ahead of them. And because of that, we have a little more experience. And Kurt was talking about these platforms that are out there, these third-party platforms. And that's the only way that consumers can purchase liquor products through an app. There's Skip the Dishes, which is a Canadian-based company, Uber Eats, and Drizzly. And these platforms are really like a Trojan horse, and the reason why I say that is, from the liquor store's point of view, they're bringing in new customers, they're bringing in sales. But what's actually happening is the stores losing the customers. They're losing the customers to those new platforms. They're no longer going to be coming into your store. The consumer, is now become a customer of Uber Eats or DoorDash or Drizzly. The liquor store also loses because they lose out on the margin, right? These platforms suck out the profit with every single transaction. And the consumer also loses because at the end of the day, they're paying higher prices for the exact same product, right? So what BottleCAST has really done is we've created a win-win scenario for the liquor store as well as for the consumer. So we've developed an app that creates a virtual store for the consumer. So the consumer can go purchase products in real time. They can either get them to go curbside or delivery, right? And the app that we built is actually branded to the store and displays their products in real time. So, for example, if there's 10 bottles of a certain specific liquor on the shelf, there'll be 10 bottles in the app. So, it's really, beneficial for the consumer to purchase those products that way. The other side of it is this app is really it's a marketing power horse. It's absolutely amazing what it can do. So, sending out push notifications to the app user, telling them about specials and events that are going on in the liquor store. It's really a very powerful way to market directly to your consumers. So, we've been out there marketing for a few months now, Lupe, and the response has been overwhelming. We've actually, all the liquor store owners that we've talked to, nobody's told us no, which is simply amazing. And I think also it shows us how badly needed our products are there. We're at the right place at the right time, bringing the right products to this marketplace. So, we can have their app up and running in weeks rather than months. And as Curtis mentioned there, it's just a monthly fee that they pay. They don't have to worry about paying the initial setup or the maintenance on it. It's a very easy way for a store to get their own branded app and get into this digital revolution.
Yeah, thank you so much for that breakdown. And I like what you said there, that our product's very much a marketing power tool. It's something that when used correctly, it could really launch your store, tenfold over into the success that you might have not even considered before. And I'd like to even bring up a comparison of the pandemic. We saw the response the U.S. had during the pandemic towards e-commerce. There wasn't a lot of customers coming in store, and we had to have that. I hate to say that we had to have that event for this need to be seen, but I think it was definitely a turning point in e-commerce in the U.S. And so, discussing it through the Canadian market side of things, they have the opportunity to sign up now and really reap the benefits of all the attention that is on e-commerce right now. So, no, I definitely appreciate that breakdown. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up there, guys. I definitely appreciate your time. Curtis, I wanted to kick it back to you. How can folks get in touch with us if they want to reach out and hear more about our products and services?
Yeah, very simply, just go to our website. There's a little contact us page. You can fill out a form with your information, and then somebody will reach out to you. In fact, we actually have a staff member on our team that's actually, in Canada, Canadian citizen, and he's really dedicated to the Canadian market as well. So he'll be able to reach out to you, whoever it is, right away, and either set him up for a 30-minute demo or just kind of discuss a little bit more over the phone before that, or email you some more information. But ultimately, what we're looking to do is see how we can help your e-commerce needs with your delivery and your pickup services. So, as you guys know, there's a lot of stuff up in the air with this whole COVID thing, right? So variants and things like that, we might be shut down again, we might not. So when that time does come, like you're mentioning, Lupe, it's best to position your business in a way where it'll be successful, where you don't need to have your store open to sell products. So please reach out as soon as you guys possibly can to all of our Canadian friends.
Awesome. And Preet, any last words here for our folks?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Lupe. No, we're very excited about the Canadian market. Our plan is to start in British Columbia and Alberta and work our way east. I think we've got a lot of great opportunities. If you're a liquor store owner or somebody that owns a liquor store, please put them in touch with us. We can really, we're on the same team here. We're fighting the same fight, and we're wanting to service them with our technology and our marketing expertise. Learn from our experience. Let us do the heavy lifting and get you online and help your customers receive their products either to go, curbside, or delivery, as well as some great marketing advice. So please reach out to us.
Thank you so much, guys. We definitely appreciate your time again. And thank you guys for tuning into another episode here. Have a good day.
Thanks for listening to BottleCAST, the official podcast of Bottle Caps. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Cheers.